Yes, I did not decide to teach. The teaching came to me by virtue of certain circumstances. I had the ability to speak right from the college days. I was speaking in the college, in the university, and sometimes giving some public addressing. But I never thought that I would be a teacher. It came to me that I had to teach, and people started liking what I teach, and gradually developed into a rhythm where lot of teaching has happened. So the simple answer is teaching as an activity came to me and I did not choose it. I would say teaching and preparing the groups has been the most challenging job. The family was not posing any crisis to me at any time, very cooperative. And in the profession, much help has come to me that I could move forward and reach a point where I could delegate the, the work to my assistants and move forward. So profession was not really giving me the challenge or the family. The true challenge is teaching, because it so happened that I needed to teach due to the teacher whom I followed passed away suddenly, and I had to walk in a bigger shoe. Walking in your own shoe is easy, but to walk in some other shoe, you need to make lot of adjustments. And another challenge was, it's not that I am teaching in a local, a place, a region or that. It's different groups in different places all over the globe, right from South America, North America, Europe, India. So you have people from different background. So therefore you needed to tune up to the listeners. The secret of teaching is, as I found, you need to listen to the listeners. Listening to listeners, you know what exactly they need. So you need to adjust your whatever knowledge that comes to you according to the place, according to the time, and then teach. One way it was very beautiful, but every time it is always a challenge. So it's a challenging job, admired by me because there is a challenge in it. But then the situation is you are doing something which is done by your predecessor, so you need to take that measurement also with you. So it's a multiple things, factors that set in when you teach. That's why I found the teaching more challenging than the profession or the family. Even before I came in touch with Master Ike, I have an understanding of the divinity and how to relate to him. The divinity is in approaches us in threefold manner: through will, through knowledge, and through activity. So that's what we say, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. So we invoke the energy and we seek the cooperation of the chain of teachers, hierarchy of teachers. And these are from cosmic, there is a chain. When you say Medham me Indro Dadado, you go too far. The idea is you invoke the energies who are working for the line of teaching, and then ultimately you seek the favor of the goddess of speech. Goddess of speech is called Saraswati. So we also make a prayer, kindly be favorable and deliver what is useful to the listeners. See, teaching is to benefit the listeners who give their time, their money, their energy After all, they should get benefited by whatever is taught. So keeping them in view, invoking the angels, we say, we keep speaking. I don't keep any particular person behind my back of my brain. It's not like that. Yeah, this master has come about. It's very embarrassing to me initially because I was known as Kumar, and then Mr. Kumar, and then Brother Kumar, and it's all how the one who are taught, how they felt. Accordingly, they started addressing me. Just like when you are blessed with a son or a daughter, the daughter or son will call you a dad, isn't it? This is because something has happened and that relation develops from the other side. So also among the listeners, it is they who decided to slowly address me as master, but it means to me nothing because to me what is important is to see the master in the questioner, to see the master in the student, listen to him, and with much attention and devotion answer what is asked. So initially it all started in Spain only, because in Spain the teacher is called also master, isn't it? School teacher is also called master. So in India also we have that habit of school teachers being called master. For example, when Sandeep went to elementary school, he calls his teacher master, master, master. So this master has a different connotation from the theosophical connotation. So it was agreeable to me anyway. I am teaching and they see a teacher in me, and slowly it gets into a kind of a custom, and you don't pay much attention to it. What you see is that they are addressing me, and I cordially relate to them. More than that, there is nothing in it. When you are in the job, it is very blissful. When you are on it, it's very blissful, very joyful. Your energies also, they get lifted up. And after every interaction, be it teaching or relating to groups, you are uplifted. After that, yes, there is the strain is felt when the job is done, and 24 hours after you feel. But if you have another job, again it takes up. So when you are with the work, it's always very joyful. It was never burdensome. That is the clue that I could attend so many times in so many places repeatedly when I am asked to speak, when I am invited to speak. Initially, the inertia comes, oh, again the same topic. But once you start speaking, it's a different thing. So, in a nutshell, the work is very uplifting. So, you are also uplifted when you are in the work. Before the work and after the work, you are at one level of energy. During the work, you feel much more joy. It lasts for a while. Thereafter, again, you come back to your normal. So, burdensome is never felt. Only thing is, a prolonged teaching over 4 decades makes you feel, so however much you teach, there is still things to be taught, and there are also people still willing to learn. So there is no end to this teaching. This is what I found. Even that is not burdensome. For example, if you are all coming at particular hour, 10-15 minutes before, you feel, oh, they are coming. Once you set things and you start the game, it goes on. That means the what you call psychologically, till you get in, you have the inhibition. Once you are in it, it's like fish taking into water. There are 2 types of people that approach me. One category is they want to make their life, meaning education, vocation, settling as a family, personality life. for which there are many people who look for guidance. This is one category. To that I give out of my own experience whatever I know. Then there is the second category who are looking for something beyond this body, beyond this life, and what they think as the truth or as God. In those areas there are enquiries, and according to their state of awareness, I respond to them so that they get one more step, so that they move on. I don't give all the steps at a time. What is needed for the person, according to that point, I give the next step, so that when they work it out, you give the next step. Like that, I guide the second category, that is those who follow the path of aspiration and spirituality. And for the general upliftment and material life welfare, there is another category. So the three categories are differently attended according to their need, be it personality life, be it soul life. According to the questioner, you give the answer, and they feel satisfied and move forward. And the proof of the pudding is they come back to you again and again, isn't it? If they don't like the advice, they disappear. Firstly, I don't feel that I am Superman. So therefore, there is no way for people to feel that I am Superman. Only thing is, there are some people who are emotional. In every community, there are emotional people. Emotional people should be seen as kids. So they see more than what is over there. We don't discourage them. We don't encourage them. We don't discourage them. We don't encourage them. I try to see what is to be done for him and what he should do. What is to be done for him in that context, and what would make him come out of his own emotional understanding to some kind of basic ground for thinking and then developing. So for emotional people, it's easy for them to feel Superman. And then they are the ones who also get disappointed when what they see does not happen later. So you should never encourage any person to think that you are Superman. It should not be, because truly there is only one Superman and we are men. That's the best situation. We link up and we try to deliver as much as we can and see if it is useful to them. So that way when you are working, you gently eliminate the emotions relating to people who see you as a Superman. It is good for them, good for me, and good in general, good for the group. So one should never be seen as a one with all is the truth. So we go with it, and when there is a dimension of Superman projected by an emotional person, there is already an intellectual person in the group, isn't it? Who doesn't see that way, because he is on the other side of the psyche. He says, come on, get out of all this. Between them there would be discussions. In the process they also displace me. They say, no, he's not like that. So these are all games which students play, but we should see that it is emotional, more emotional, less emotional, normal, intellectual, intuitional, and then the ones who are bent upon following the discipline relating to discipleship. It is they who matter, and all should be set into that path, that everyone should work with himself. That's the only way you reach your goal. I can't walk for you, you can't walk for me. I can tell you how to walk and show how to walk, and you will also walk. We all walk together towards the one goal which we see as light, as love, or as will. So the idea is to set them in order and not go by what all they think of us. What they think of us is less important. Do they follow the basic tenets of discipleship is major concern. As long as they follow whichever way they think, it doesn't matter. True, what we have to know is that as you walk, you depend on your legs. Isn't it? So you are always self-supportive. If someone walks along with you, it's a joy. But you cannot rely that he would walk along with you all the way. If he walks, well and good. If he doesn't walk, well and good. And then at all times you have to walk with your legs only. You can't jump onto his shoulders. Isn't it? So therefore, do it yourself is the best thing to follow. When you are in any path of progress, do it yourself is the best policy. If some cooperation comes, you take it. Don't deny a cooperation and do not complain if cooperation ceases. You continue. That way you are never disappointed. The happiest part of the family life is my life partner. And the saddest part is that she departed recently. The rest is, these two stand as the two different poles as regards the best and the saddest situation. I had excellent cooperation from her, and she found in me a man who was to her complete satisfaction, and she always wanted to be around and cooperate and take additional responsibilities relating to the groups and relating to the family, relatives. Everything looking at me, she took a lot of responsibility, and between us there were no differences. We were very friendly to each other, and the beauty is we never talked to each other just as two persons. Always there were people around. There were always people around, and there was no particular dialogue between me and Kumari, but still we had that communication without communication. We went on and on and on. It was beautiful for 48 years. So time decided that she should leave. So that also has become the saddest part of the family life. From 2020, there is a change in the energy around, and it needed descent of more what we call wisdom or light from higher circles. At all times from the higher circles there is a willingness for descent. It's only in the lower circles the willingness to receive. It's like the sunlight he is willing to give every day. Every day the sun rays do come. How do we receive on a day-to-day basis depends upon our condition here. For example, today it is cloudy. We are yet to see the sun, isn't it? So when there is a cloudy situation around the earth in relation to the human progression at a planetary level, they decided to send in more light and someone to distribute this light into the surroundings. Normally when things change, people are affected by the change which they see in the vicinity. Whatever is happening in the surrounding, we are affected by it, and we get attuned to it and do not see the sun which is beyond the clouds. Sun is there, he is beyond the clouds, but to see beyond the clouds that the sun is very much there, hence we have the day here, someone has to remind them, isn't it? Otherwise they take it's a no sun day. Like that, this wisdom which we have been speaking and practicing over decades, in a changed situation, it suddenly disappears from the conscious layers of man. It gets into its own limbo, and only the mind picks up what is in the surrounding. And mind is so agile to pick up the surroundings, it cannot recall what it already received before. So these persons shall have to be reoriented that it's only apparently like this, inside it is intact. Beyond this point, it is intact. So, someone has to remind them. Teaching is nothing but reminding people of the light that they have inside. So, what happens when the people at large are affected by the apparent thing? We shall have to remind them of a little more tangible and permanent things which exist within. So the wisdom should come to our hand as a handmaid when there is a crisis. Wisdom is not something as a decorative piece that we show off here and there. When there is no crisis, we keep on speaking about various dimensions of wisdom. But in real crisis, wisdom only helps you. The other things do not help you. Because your mind associated with the world, unless it links up to wisdom, it cannot find solutions. So in these transition times, there is more need to vertically bring down and transmit as much as possible and connect to people as much as possible. That is the reason why every week there was the aspect of connecting to every group through the facility that we have. Despite the health situation, it was done only to remind that each one of us carry the light, and when we relate to the light within us, we get lifted up. Firstly, we can ward off what is happening from outside that it affects us. We can insulate them, we can give them the confidence, and we allow them to move forward. Therefore, the work is to spread in 360-degree into the circumference, from center to circumference. It needed to be spread. And this online has helped us. Had it not been an online functioning, concurrently to do that is not easy, So earlier we were meeting so many times in so many years. From place to place to place to place we go. When we go to a place, they listen. Others don't listen. Because there is no online or any such thing. Now today if you speak, concurrently, simultaneously, it listened to in all places, number one. Number two, there is a simultaneous spreading of energy of the ancient wisdom which uplifts. It's not that we uplift. The moment we speak of the profound wisdom coming from the ancient scriptures, it uplifts itself. As we all know, when the speech is going on, in 5-10 minutes, the whole group gets oriented to it. It's the wisdom that causes the uplift. And then the second thing that I have observed is the voice that as it comes, it has its impact to cause the necessary orientation to the people. And the third dimension is they have been seeing the person through whom it is happening. I get so many mails that we feel so joyful to see you speaking to us on a one-to-one basis. So these are the three dimensions that has helped us to, and this transition is from 2020 to 2028 until Uranus transits Taurus. This one thing or other keeps on happening. So we stay in an alerted state where we can restore things in its original order and continue to work. That's how it is. The best thing is to start with man. To start with man, don't show the universe or anything. The universe is in man. So if you start with man, it is easy to direct him to relate to himself. And in man there are so many things which can be seen. So man know thyself is an old dictum. So the various dimensions of man, if you keep on informing him, it is the best way. It will lead you to relate to the universe also, the macro and the micro. The micro and the macro, in this relation everything can be explained. That's why whenever a new person comes, do not start with the name of a master, do not start with a theology or a religion or anything, just go with the man. because it is the truth. Every man stands for the truth. It is truth in flesh and blood. And how the truth exists in him as existence, as awareness, as intelligent activity, and then how he relates, what kind of equipment he has. When you give this kind of inner anatomy relating to him, we open things to him, and this inner anatomy is relatable to the planetary system, solar system, cosmic system. This way we can open them. We start with the 6 centers and also the planetary systems in us, the sun sign systems in us. We can explain within man that these are there, and the 5 elements are there, isn't it? And the 3 qualities are there. So this way you interpret the man first, and then after interpreting the man, relate that these principles which exist in man also exist outside. There is matter here, there is matter outside. There is water here, there is water outside. There is fire inside, there is fire outside. Like that, when we say the sun is there, I am is the sun. The force on us is mass. The ability to discriminate is Mercury, which is in us, and there is a planetary principle of Mercury. So connect him to the planetary system. So he is connected. So this way you can show so many intelligences functioning in him whose reservoirs are outside and their representatives are inside us. The 5 pulsations, the 5 sensations, the 5 elements, everything in man, you relate them to the outside. So man tends to see better, and in that process he gets interested to know the cosmo system and the anthropo system. Anthropo and cosmo, when you are able to relate, you have done an excellent job in that you cover every dimension of spirituality. Theologies or religions, they speak in different terminology, but we have to find a new terminology according to the present time. Otherwise people don't understand. So therefore we have to see what is in the old terminology, what is the import that it contains. That import first you see in you, and then see outside, and then relate. That's the best way to teach. For example, in Gemini I spoke about sin mark ritual, isn't it? These markations. These markations they're so subtle, and you cannot, unless you are very alert, you can't see them. What is Markandeya, what is Mark? So this way if you connect, they feel happy because it's always existing within us, which is explained at different times, in different terminology, to different people. So we come with a common terminology, start with the person whom you relate, and work with him straight away. That's the best way. Don't come with some concepts. Don't come with some big masters. That's not the way. There is truth in him, in you, there is truth in me. If I can relate to you, the basic things I can relate and slowly weed out. It suits the modern man. It suits the modern man who is willing to think by himself and then put himself into process. It's the old emotional way that you say something and 1,000 people follow like sheep, but they don't know anything. They may follow for long years, but they don't know anything. But today it's not like that in Aquarian age. You give him the know-how, let him work with it. You should know to whom you are teaching, that's all. To whom you are teaching, first a teacher should be able to feel here, this student. If I can feel you, I can know what your requirements are. That's why teaching is always an act coming from the heart in coordination with the head. Brain and heart and head cooperation is very important for teaching. So when you teach, be it an Indian or a European or an American, all are human. They are in different states, isn't it? Some are at the emotional state, some are at the mental state, some are at intellectual state, some are already burning with a desire to know something beyond. Accordingly, then the teaching was. En masse teaching is a general teaching, but the true teaching is on a one-to-one basis. That's where it happens. Basically, there is some information in you, and when you keep open, connecting to the one in you, lot of information becomes accessible to you. So you access the information, listen within yourself, and then transmit to the others. Even in teaching it happens, as you have all seen. I never come with a prepared text or anything, isn't it? You generally know the topic, some kind of seed thought you have, but when you connect, it relates itself in a way that you are informed many times first time, and you are also informing the students. Sometimes you are pre-informed and then you inform. It becomes easy when there is a connection. When there is no connection, it's all intellectual or mental teaching. That means what you have already gathered only you can reproduce. So reproduction is not very lively. A fresh delivery is much more lively because it contains the electromagnetic impact, because it comes afresh from the higher circles. That is what impacts a student. The student is impacted more by the presence there than by the concept of teaching. There are two things here. Concept of teaching is there, and then the very live aspect of that concept transmitting itself. So for example, when we teach about magnetism, people get magnetized, it is one aspect. People get information about magnetism is another aspect. But when they get magnetized, they will look more and more for it. This happens when you are connected and when you teach. So what we do truly in teaching is you stay connected, you stay open, whatever information that flows in, you keep on sharing and don't own it as it is yours. Don't think it is yours because it has come from some other circles and it has transmitted through you. People listen to it. They also felt usefulness of it. That's why they follow it. If it is not useful, they don't follow. Those who do not like it, they don't follow. Those who like it, they follow. And as they follow, they get more and more this kind of radiation and magnetization happening in them. And they take to a different course of moving forward. So the whole activity happens in an impersonal manner. It's easier that way than to pick up some concepts, prepare some notes and present. By that you cannot really do a live job. A live job. A true professor or a teacher, even in the university, he comes without any preparation. He comes extempore, he delivers whatever he gets that day and then goes away. That type of teaching is more impressive to the students than the bookish information. It must be your experience also in your college. No? There are professors or teachers who just come and deliver an aspect of the subject extempore. This is because they live with it. They live with it. They don't have to look to books. They don't have to look to anything. There is no reproduction. It's a fresh delivery. They are impregnated and they deliver. That is the beautiful way of teaching. It was in my 10th year when my father was teaching to my mother Bhagavatam. He was doing it every evening. When he was speaking, I used to get a lot of goosebumps. And then I used to close my eyes and see some kind of a different state of experience, which my father noticed 2-3 times. That's the time it all started with me, and slowly certain things got recollected and we moved on.